Hi there! Today I would like to show you the first new action figure head that I bought with movable eyes. I already have one that is now 8 years old, and I guess the standard is pretty different from the new ones. So I got the Mandy Head from I8Toys. I also got a different head that you will see tomorrow in the video. But for this one here, I can already tell you that the review is not so super positive, but let me just start with it. When it comes to the Mandy sculpt by I8Toys, this head here is available for a price between $30 to $90 or euros. The retail price, as far as I know, was $65. And the head was announced in October 2023, so the price for the listings that are still up for this head here are very interesting because the range is really big, and I think there are plenty reasons for that. As you can see, there are two packages, two heads on this table. The one on the left side cost me a little bit more than 31 euros, and the one on the right side I paid 48 euros for. I bought two different versions of this head, two very different prices, because I was hoping that I would get at least a different packaging for the more expensive one. And in general, I thought I could prove myself, if the rumors are correct, that when you buy the cheaper heads on AliExpress, that all of them are dupes or fakes, or at least rejects or whatsoever, but in fact, it was not possible to prove that because the more expensive head is not in its best condition. You will see that later on. In general, this head here is listed so many times on eBay, on AliExpress. So many listings are on for this head here. And I really thought that this is the reason, because there's so many knockoffs out there or dupes, but I don't think that anymore. So let's start with unpacking these two heads. I bought the high ponytail version for the lower priced head. The seller on AliExpress did not use the company name I8Toys for the listing, and that looked suspicious to me, but the shop listed actual pictures of the product, so compared to owner pictures that I have seen of this head before, it looks pretty much authentic to me. I was just pretty surprised that they did not use the promo pictures for this head here, because when you would like to buy this head on eBay for around the same price, it is listed as I8Toys Mandy, also only with the promo pictures. So it was special here, so I decided to buy this head and also the one on the right, because this seller used the term I8Toys, also all the promo pictures, and the shop had a good reputation on AliExpress. By the way, now at this point, all the heads, or the two heads, are way more expensive. For example, the head on the right side now costs a bit over 70 euros, and the head on the left costs 40 euros, so way more than what I have paid back in November. Both heads were packed in a plastic bag without an additional cardboard box, but at least the seller on the left added a plastic bag extra, plus a little bit, not only a little bit, a good amount of bubble wrap. The one on the right, the more expensive one, it was only a plastic bag, and it was not even the only head that I bought in the shop. I also bought another head that was also not very cheap, so I was a bit surprised that I got the more expensive head that way. Both heads are packed exactly the same way, and both heads do have a broken seal. They arrived that way. I did not peel off the sticker. For the cheaper variant, I expected to get a box like this one here, but for the more expensive one, I thought I would get a slightly different one. Many people who have unboxed this head here had an additional clinging foil around the brown paper box, and also the lid or flap of the box looks slightly different from the ones that you can see here. So I thought maybe the ones that are now sold on AliExpress or eBay are made later on, or are in fact bootlegs. I mean, I still don't know if that's correct or incorrect because the more expensive one is in fact exactly like the cheaper one, just with a different price. And yeah, it is a not so pretty one as well. So, the first Mandy Head here is quite okay. When you open up the box, you will get the little pamphlet that explains how to take apart the head and also how to move the eyes, because these eyes are not made out of glass or they don't have an acrylic dome. They are plastic and the details are printed on, so you better don't move the eyes from the front. You will have to do that from the inside of the head. And for doing this, you will also get this little metal piece. You also get an additional neck part. Not quite sure where you get the identical neck part again. Yeah, maybe because the quality is not so good. It is a pretty thin plastic piece, and later on, when I try the set on different bodies, I'm not really thrilled by the concept of this neck piece in general. So, it's time for the more expensive Mandy Head. This Mandy Head here comes with the hair variant E, the one with the middle side part, bangs, and longer hair. Hair color is the same, it is dark brown. Everything of the packaging looks totally identical. I was a bit surprised by the head, to be honest. I don't know how well it is visible on the screen, but the head looks a bit odd. The eyes are very uneven. Her left eye is wider, much wider than the right one. And the hair dome or the head dome, it is too large. So the top of the head sits unusually high. I know, it sounds weird, and honestly, I think the footage does not really capture it that good, so let's have a look on the rooting. The rooting is quite okay. It is better than for most of the action figure heads that I had so far. The head is saran hair. On this head here, it is very greasy. Don't know why. On the other one, it is not so intense, but maybe because the other one has tied her hair together in a ponytail, so maybe it is not that noticeable because of that. But for the one that does have her hair down, it is very greasy. You might want to wash it in case you would like to get this head. But I have to say, I was not a big fan, and in the end of this part of the video, I sent back the more expensive head. But nonetheless, here is a comparison with the cheaper faceplate. They both are identical. The cheaper one does have a misprint on the left eye. The eyeliner is a little bit blotchy. You can see it here in this picture a little bit better. And as I said, the more expensive face does have a very wide left eye. It is really hard to see that in video footage. It is way more noticeable when you do have the head in your hand. So I have to say I'm a bit surprised by that, because this head here is not cheap. The retail for $65 is also not that cheap, and I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. Overall, I cannot say that the head does not look like the promo pictures. Of course, promo pictures are always a bit nicer than the end product. That's normal, but so far, I had a couple of action figure heads in my hands, and I have to say the quality of this one here, or these two here, is not that good. Sorry, it is simply not. I gathered a lot of pictures of other collectors, and you can see the quality control on this head here cannot be that good, because most of the time the eyes are uneven, and it is totally irrelevant if the person had bought the item on AliExpress or on a figure shop from their own country or wheresoever. Most of these heads do have very uneven eyes, and I think that's the reason why there are still so many listings of this head, because I also have seen people complaining about the unevenness of these eyes, but actually I didn't see it before I bought the head, and I really like the promo pictures. I think the overall aesthetic of these heads is very cute. I mean, I8Toys does have overall always this kind of aesthetic. I know they reuse sculpting, so this year is also not the first time that they made the sculpt, just with a different screening. but I don't know. I think the quality of the eye cutout should be better. Anyway, the eyes are movable, but at the moment when I made this video here, the room was, I guess, too cold and I was not able to move the eyeballs, but I heated up the head that I will keep, or that I kept, a tiny bit, and now I'm able to move the eyeballs. The head is a tiny bit squishier, and you can use the little metal tool that is included to be a bit more precise when placing or moving the eyeball. And as you can see, it works quite fine. There's not a big problem. Here again you have a better look on the faceplate, and the eyes are set in nicely. You cannot really see through a gap into the head, so overall the eye mechanism they made is quite okay. It is good. They sit solid in their socket, and that is definitely a plus point. But still, when you look at the face here, you can also see here that the eyes are not 100% even. I mean, this is still a collector's item, but it is a toy and it is mostly handmade, so 100% are not possible. It is in a manageable degree, but as I said, I have seen much more worse versions of that, and I'm still pretty unsure what to think about it. I did buy this head for the I8Toys workbox body, but still I would like to see how it looks on fashion girl bodies, because for me that is always an option, and I really like to have a look how the head would look on one of these. For an action head, this head here is on the bigger side. It is not one of the very tiny ones. Color-wise, it is very pale. Here you can see it with the white mength, and the white mength already looks very normal skin, or simply dark in comparison to the head. Next is pink-white. It would work, but still the body is too dark for the head. But I think the head goes very well on the mength body. It looks cute and the proportions are good. Even with the silicone knob, the head sits quite secure on this body, which is a big plus. You don't have to do any modding, and you could just take the head and place it on this body here. The super wide body is a bit too wide, a bit too light for the head. The neck of the body I use here is not broken. I just unscrewed the neck pack because I needed it for a different head that you will see tomorrow in a video. Skin wise or color wise, the lightest Mitzi body option would be a better match, but you would have to mod the neck for this because you cannot get on the neck connector. I also would like to show you a perfect skin color match. That would be the Kismela 2.0 body, but the neck pack is of course ginormous in comparison with the neck connector. You would have to dremel it down quite a bit. You can also buy Kismela bodies with smaller neck packs, but yeah, I have shown them in the past and I'm not quite sure if they are now better than then, so basically, at least for a time, they just dremeled them down by themselves, so I don't know. I just wanted to include this body because the skin color is in fact perfect. But also the other bodies would work with this head, and I think the proportions would be very nice. But as I said, I bought this head to go on one of the workbox bodies. The skin tone match is not perfect. The head is a bit different. Is lighter, also the skin tone is not a 100% match, but it is doable. The head is just a bit more pale. It's hard to describe, it just does not have a lot of blushing, and even though the workbox bodies do have a grayish undertone, they are blushed, they look a little bit more lifelike, and the head is a bit plain, so the match is not perfect, but of course it is totally doable. Now comes the next aspect why I do not really like this head here. I don't understand the neck connectors. You get two of them, they are exactly the same. The fitting on this body here is okay, but definitely not good. The neck connector is very thin, the material is absolutely not high quality, and I just don't get the idea of it. When you would use it on the fashion doll bodies, yeah, that's not a big deal. You could use sometimes, I guess, with some putty, depending on what body you would use. It would be very nice on the silicone knob one, so you would have absolutely no problem, and you would even have some free range to move this head. But when you use it on the Wellbox body, there's absolutely no free range. You cannot even turn the head. The neck pack would come off, or better said, the neck connector would come off, so the whole head would come off. I mean, you could secure it with a little bit of poster putty. You could slim down the neck pack of the actual bust you would like to use, so maybe the head would have a bit more range of motion with that, but overall, I simply don't get the construction of this head here. In my opinion, it is not very well done. I simply don't know if it would work way better on a body that does have a metal neck piece, so maybe that is how it would work way better. I don't know, but honestly, the promo pictures are mostly on the, or not, maybe not mostly, but they are on the Wellbox bodies, and so I'm surprised that the neck piece here does not work together with the neck pack at all. There are definitely better options for that. You will see one tomorrow, because originally I wanted to show you two different heads in this video, but it would have been so long, and I decided to give both heads an own video. So, but overall, I don't think this here is a good constructed neck piece. Sorry, I don't think so. I talked while you have seen the head on the I8Toys and on the I8Toys. It looks good on both of them, but for this video here, she will get the I8Toys because I recently got a very pretty dress that I would like to show you. I paid a bit more than 16 euros for this dress, free shipping, everything, that's what I paid. And it is indeed a very pretty dress. The quality is quite nice. I would also like to talk about the purchase of this dress later on in the end of the video, because it definitely is under my top 5 worst purchases on AliExpress of all time. The seller I got this from is horrible, but indeed it has nothing to do with the quality of this dress, and therefore I will first review this dress because it's been sold by different sellers. You don't have to buy it by the douchebag I got mine from, and as I said, it is a very nice dress. The material is also very delicate, so it is quite the same material as for most of the stretchy action figure clothing series, regardless if it is sportswear or more elegant like this one here. It does have a lycra feel to it. The top part does have a mesh fabric, and the bottom part is not sewn, it is just glued, which takes away a bit of the elasticity of the dress, but overall it is okay. I don't know why they decide to do that, but indeed it does have maybe a more sleek look because of that. Otherwise the dress is nicely sewn. Also the scarf or tie on the top of the collar is sewn on, but also secured with glue. The zipper in the back is very nice. It works very well. It is tiny and it looks very good. Compared to doll clothing, this is very rarely seen, and it looks so nicely. It gives the dress a more exclusive or more expensive look, in my opinion. The dress is made for action figures, but you could also wear it on the standard made to move. It simply is a tiny bit too wide on the hips. It would also work on the Barbie curvy body. It is not a snug fit, it is not super tight, but under very bright light. The dress is a bit sheer, but you could do that. It is also a bit wide on the newer torso length body. I mean, with some tights or undies, I think the dress would not be that wide. On the older length with the larger torso, it looks even better and not as baggy as on the smaller torso. So here you definitely could wear the dress on. And by the way, the dress is extremely black. It is really, really dark black, and my camera has a problem with showing the color so good in detail. So this is a very dark black dress. Here you can see it on the workbox 8201, and here it truly sits perfectly on the body. By the way, this body here still does have the B bust on. The dress would also fit with a C bust. The D bust already would be a bit, maybe not too big, but the fabric gets sheer when it is stretched, so maybe that's not the look you're going for. And I'm pretty sure that E is way too large. I guess you could even get this dress on the E bust, but yeah, it's not for me. I think it would not look that good, but in my opinion, the look of this dress is perfect for A to C. Here you can see it on the 8202, and as you can see, the problem is the fabric gets sheer and very shiny when it is stretched, and it works on the wide hipped body, especially when you do not want to take pictures, but in case you would like to take pictures, yeah, the fabric is a bit see-through when it is stretched. And here you do have her in her new dress, some tights and shoes. I think she is a cutie no matter what, but I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed by the overall quality of this head. It is a pretty one though. I really like the ears, for example. I think she's so cute. I think most of the I8Toys head look gorgeous on their promo pictures, but I'm not quite sure if I like the quality. I definitely would not buy one for retail price. Maybe in the future I would try a different one for also around 30 euros, but I'm not quite sure about that. So far I like the ones that I have shown you before way better. I like these really perfect screenings with shiny eyes, shiny lips, and this head here is more of a letdown to me personally, and yeah, maybe I hyped it up too much. I was so thrilled by the promo pictures. Maybe the head had no chance to do justice to that. However, I was able to send back the more expensive head even without problem and no extra costs. That's what I usually do. I really like to buy on AliExpress with free shipping, and when it is a bit more expensive or I'm not quite sure if I like the item, I try to find a listing that does have a free return option as well, which honestly I never used before I opened this YouTube channel, but I think this was the 4th time that I sent something back. But usually I keep the items, and mostly I'm happy with the items I get, and even if they are not really 100% perfect, I'm good with it. But I was simply too disappointed with the more expensive head, and I don't know, it was easy to send it back, so I'm happy about this. And in case you're still here and you're interested in all the drama that happens regarding this dress, I gladly tell you what happened. So I ordered 2 different dresses from 2 different listings in one shop. The name is Supermodel Toys Store. I know there are different stores that do have very similar name. I hate that. I wish they would have, I don't know, names that are not so similar, but this shop is a good example for really, in my opinion, bad sellers on AliExpress. I talked about this before. The worst case scenario to me personally is when I get a package with short edge. I bought 2 dresses, they only shipped 1. I wrote it in my comments, but I think I never talked about it. I always film my package openings. Always. Way before I started this YouTube channel, I always do it. I would like to have footage about the things, what were inside of the package, and also how the package looked like. Usually I do not unpack everything, but I really would like to be sure that I have everything that I ordered, and that I do have that on camera. Because in the past, especially when I started to buy on AliExpress around 2019, 2020, I got quite a few packages with shortage, and it was always trouble to get my money back then. At that time, I usually did not buy action figure clothing or Barbie clothing. I started to buy on AliExpress because I was able to get BGD clothing, shoes, eyes, wigs and everything, because at that time it was really hard to get stuff over Taobao, because that's where I usually bought my BGD stuff from. But it got more and more complicated, so I decided to try out AliExpress, and overall I'm happy with it. I still like to buy there, but sometimes, just sometimes, you will meet a bad shop with a customer service that is even worse. As I said, I did not get what I ordered, so I had to open up a dispute on AliExpress to get my money back. And at that point, usually, the shop get contacted and has to communicate with you or just give you a refund. The shop here was extremely annoying. They told me that maybe someone has overseen that 2 dresses were included and that they do have the dress in stock, and if I buy another item, they could ship it together with this to me. And I told them, no, you had one chance. I bought 2 items and you were not able to send 2 different items from 2 different listings. So why on earth should I order again in this shop? I mean, if it would have been a big order with multiple items, shortage could have happened, but honestly, an order for 2 different items from 2 different listings, yeah, that's pretty fishy. And out of my experience, I have to say, I'm pretty sure that at least 8 out of 10 packages that are sent with shortage are no coincidence. Sellers do that on purpose. Sorry, I have to say that I'm pretty sure that this is the case. And if you receive a purchase that does have shortage, maybe if you like the seller and it was a very big order, that is okay and you can try to work out a solution with the seller, but in my opinion, it is an attempt to scam you. However, the seller did not want to give up, so I received a bunch of messages. I should try that, I got a lot of emojis, and I should buy again, and they simply need a new tracking number to send me the missing item, so regardless what I buy, they would include the dress and so on. And I have a warm tip for you. It does not matter what they send you in the message area, all these private messages, they don't care on AliExpress about these, even if the seller, I don't know, promise you to send you 100 items extra or whatsoever. It doesn't matter. It is not part of the dispute history or anything. It is just a normal conversation, and it does not count for the AliExpress customer service nor for PayPal, for example. So I got messages for about 3 or 4 days. They did not want to close the dispute by giving me back my money, so I had to message them again and told them if they don't agree to give me the refund for the missing item, I will also open up a PayPal dispute, and in that case, the whole order would be frozen, and that is not a good thing for a seller on AliExpress. I don't know, maybe I will make a whole video about this topic at some point. I mean, I figured out most of the specialties on AliExpress over the years, but honestly, it is not so important. Most of the time, everything is fine. I really like to buy on AliExpress, and I cannot say that I have more trouble than, for example, on eBay. On eBay, I also have not always the best experience when I buy from sellers and even non-private ones. I don't know. You know how online shopping is, sometimes you don't get what you paid for, and marketplaces are always a bit tricky, but overall I can assure that AliExpress got better over the last years, but this year was an example for a not so nice experience, and it was simply annoying. Maybe just because I'm a person that likes to handle everything on a friendly base. I mean, I can be unfriendly as well, but I really like to do that on a professional and friendly base, and that was not really possible with the seller here. And yeah, that made everything taste awful in the end. But I hope you had some fun with this video at least, and maybe some of you are still here, so thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for hearing what I had to say about it. I really hope that you yourself do not have bad experience on AliExpress and even on other online platforms, because usually you cannot buy these items out in stores, or usually most of us cannot do it. And they are definitely worth to be collected. And it is fun most of the time, but just sometimes it is annoying when you meet people that are not really fair. That's my opinion. But most of the time, or what I would say even way over 90%, everything is okay. And in the end, you do have a nice, very nice product, so it's fine. Maybe I will see you again tomorrow when I show you the other action figure head with movable eyes that I have. So until then, have a great day. Bye.